Hey, it's Andrew Morgan, host of the Nomcast, the Netflix original movie podcast. Each week we preview and review the biggest Netflix original movies with special guests from the film industry, the music industry, comedians, and of course our fellow critics and podcasters. The Nomcast is available on nomcastpod.com or wherever you get your podcasts, on the socials at nomcastpod, and is a part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
If you love classics like we do, then you're going to love what our friends over at Best Classics Ever are giving away this month.
Through December 30th, they're giving away Amazon Fire streaming sticks, free 30-day, 60-day, and annual subscriptions.
Plus, one grand prize winner is going to get a lifetime subscription. You can enter to win on the Best Classics Ever Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, or you can enter at bestclassicsever.com.
And if you go there, be sure to check out episodes of our show, The Matinee, streaming free in their Hollywood Canteen section.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
That's a raccoon, yo. What are you doing?
Feeding the raccoon.
It's a trash panda. When the three burglars thing happens.
Oh, and they're all saying the same line.
Yes. No, notice, Jeb, that when they put their hats on, I'm not going to be able to see facial expressions. So that's on you, man. That's on you. Okay, camera rolling.
Yeah, I get it. Can I get an interview about Betsy's wedding? No, anything but that.
Get lost.
Anything but that.
Get my hat.
Hi, I'm Mike Butler.
And I'm Mike Field.
And you're listening to the Forgotten Cinema Podcast. Each episode, we highlight a film that, for a variety of reasons, was forgotten by audiences. Whether it be because a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it. You never know, you might find your own forgotten gem. If you enjoy our podcast, please feel free to rate, review, and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
What up? It's getting cold outside.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I know. Sorry.
It's all right.
It's New England. You knew this. It's New England. You knew.
It's true.
How's it going today?
It's going all right. I got this invitation to go to this farm, but it's not really a farm. It's a CIA training camp. I've already said too much. Now I've been kicked out.
That's right. This week we are doing the movie The Recruit. I'll give you the synopsis, get the facts, and then we'll get into the movie.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a different woo. I'm
That's
testing
okay.
it out.
All right, nice. In an era when the country's first line of defense, human intelligence, eye roll, is more important than ever, comes an explosive thriller that gives an insider's view into the CIA's secret training ground, the farm. James Clayton might not have the attitude of a typical recruit, but he is one of the smartest graduating seniors in the country. Are we sure he graduated? And he's just the person that Walter Burke wants in the agency. We're doing The Recruit, like I said before. I don't know why I'm saying it again.
Very over the top,
Over the top and
explosive
broad strokes and whatnot. The Recruit has a runtime of 115 minutes. It rated PG-13, had a production budget of $46 million. It came out on Friday, of course, January 31st, 2003. A weird release, kind of a dump month release, I guess. Opening weekend, it did 16.3 million, domestic 52.8, and worldwide 101 million. So did well worldwide. I mean, so that's
this
good.
is like Colin Farrell, like at his kind of the start or the height of his.
Farrell's very popular. Pacino, obviously, it's somewhat of an action film. So I mean, I'm sure that's how it was. I should have watched the trailer, but I'm sure that's how it was
probably
promoted.
Like a Bourne, yeah.
Production company was Touchstone Pictures, Spyglass Entertainment, and Epsilon Motion Pictures, and it was distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. Obviously, for those who know, Touchstone is Disney, as is Buena Vista. So I said it came out on the 31st of January. It went up against Final Destination 2. That is the one with the tree, right? The big, when they're on the highway.
The highway with the trees. Yep. That's why no one will ever drive behind a logging.
Well, I mean, yeah, I hear that. Or like in The Island when they had the giant cement tubes that were for like sewer systems.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So it also went up against Biker Boys, the Lawrence Fishburne bike action drama. I saw it. And in a limited release, The Guru. I think it's the Mike Myers Guru.
No, he's the love guru.
Oh, you're right. So it's a different Guru. On the week after, the 7th of February, you had How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Shanghai Nights, Deliver Us from Eva, and then a limited release May. The reason why that's a horror film. And the reason why I bring that up is because my good friend Adrian Correa was the cinematographer in May. So
Nice.
giving him a little shout out. On the 24th of January, the week before, you had Darkness Falls. That is Jessica Biel, right?
No, Darkness Falls was Emma.
Jennifer Connelly?
Emma something. Darkness Falls was the one with the girl for the lady from Buffy. Xander's girlfriend. Emma Caulfield?
No, well, yes. Yeah. She's in that.
I think so, yeah. It's the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Oh, I thought. Oh, yes, you're right. Well, I know that's the Tooth Fairy. Was that what it was? It was like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? You also had Chicago, the musical. I think this is a wide release of Chicago because obviously it came out for Oscar season, the probably the month before, and then Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which is the Chuck Berry. No,
The Chuck Berry or Sam Rockwell movie where Chuck Berry has a spot.
Yep. The host of The Gong Show. Actually, I like that one. It's directed by George Clooney. This one is actually directed by Roger Donaldson, who did No Way Out, the Kevin Costner spy thriller, Cocktail, and 13 Days. Written by 3 different people, so they all had pass at the script. You had Roger Town, who's done, I don't know if I think he either did part of one of the first script version or maybe a story version of The Natural. Kurt Rimmer did Sphere. Butler, he wrote Sphere.
Yeah.
He also wrote Salt, and he wrote and directed Equilibrium. Gun kata for all those fans out there.
I really have to rewatch Equilibrium. I'm sure I won't like it now.
Oh no, you won't
After high
because
school, but
it's garbage.
I'll have to throw.
I apologize, Mr. Wimmer. Mitch Glazer wrote Scrooged and Rock the Casbah, and then cinematography by Stuart Dryburgh, who was nominated for an Oscar for cinematography for The Piano. He also did Lone Star, a movie we did a while back.
Nice.
And Black Hat, the Michael Mann movie, composed by Klaus Badelt, who did Basic, Constantine, another one of our films, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, which is the first one. Edited by David Rosenblum, who was nominated for an Oscar for editing for the movie The Insider, which is awesome, Primal Fear, and Friday Night Lights. And then produced by Jeff Apple, Gary Barber, and Roger Birnbaum. Barber and Birnbaum are actually Spyglass Entertainment. And they've done Scream, Seabiscuit, Unbreakable, G.I. Jane, and a movie we did, Rain of Fire. And then Jeff Apple has produced In the Line of Fire and Evolution, to name a few. Now, what's funny is that there are many people in this cast, but really just only 4 that
matter.
Yeah. Like, it's really odd. Al Pacino plays Walter Burke. He's in Serpico, The Godfather, and Jack and Jill, of course. Colin Farrell as James Clayton from In Bruges, Miami Vice, and the 2011 Fright Night, which is a movie we did in our first annual Forgotten Horror. Yep. Bridget Moynihan as Layla Moore. She's mainly in the TV show Blue Bloods right now. She's also in iRobot, and she plays John Wick's wife. She's the face that launched John Wick to kill all those people. So. And then Gabriel Macht as Zach. He's in The Spirit and Whiteout, but I'm sure everybody always knows him as Harvey Specter in the show Suits. And then that's it, which is amazing that there are so many people in this movie, and it's just like, these 4 matter. Yeah. I don't get that. I don't get it. But anyways, those are the brief facts for those who don't like the giant fact section we usually do. I had seen this in the theaters. It's a movie that I wasn't really, I had seen it. I was just like, okay, I saw it. And I know I had problems with it before. And I honestly, when we were doing it, I couldn't really tell you what those problems were because I just know I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm not saying I'm a big fan now.
Came into it with a bad attitude.
I did not come in with a bad attitude. I have questions. I have a lot of questions, but I'm curious. I mean, you obviously watched this when you had to have seen this when it came out in the theaters.
I can't remember if I saw it in the theaters or as soon like the first week it was out on DVD, but I did see it right when it came out.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start right off, real quick. And this is probably, and there's a couple times in the movie where this note came up to me in terms of just choices that Donaldson made as the director, or whether he made these or not. The opening shot of the movie is all of Clayton's stuff on the computer, right? It's like they have the credit sequence going and they're showing all this like pictures and photos of James Clayton's like life, his father.
Right,
his,
his father's missing.
It's kind of like
oil.
It's kind of like the Rain of Fire opening where they're like giving you everything beforehand,
bits and pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
And as the credits are going and it kind of zooms out a little bit, you start seeing you kind of see the reflection of Pacino, the Walter Burke character, looking at it. And then it cuts to Pacino. It just cuts to a close-up of Pacino just standing there. And then it cuts back to the same photo, and then it pulls out, and you see his reflection in the computer. I'm like, my thing is like, why cut to Pacino? I get it, it's Al Pacino, but it's a much more effective shot if you're pulling in that one and he's in the reflection. We all know what Al Pacino looks like, and if you see, and you could see him in the reflection of the computer screen. Right. And I was like, that's fine for an opening. I don't know, this random because the cut for me was I'm watching the movie and it just cuts to him like sitting there, and I'm just like, what? Like. Because we were still into the credits. It didn't seem like it fit. And there's a couple moments in the movie where that kind of crops up where there's shots that are moments that just don't seem to fit. That's right off the bat was the first thing I noticed when I started watching.
Wow. All right. I really couldn't tell you that I cared about the opening. I actually have that the opening kind of sucks.
Just the credits? Just
in general, it's just a very typical early 90s opening. It really didn't do anything for me.
Even though this movie's from 2003?
What did I say?
Early 90s.
I'm sorry. It's a very typical early 2000s opening. It really didn't do anything for me. I don't think it really forwards the plot because, yes, James Clayton kind of gloms onto Walter Burke because it's like a missing father figure.
I guess,
but
yeah.
The missing father angle is not used as much as you might think that it's alluded to at the beginning. It just kind of completely goes by the wayside for the most part toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of watched it going, oh, all right. When's the movie start?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the opening at all.
Well, the whole thing, like the idea of this is that Burke is seeking out Clayton to sign him up for the farm.
Right.
And to bring him into the CA, to bring him into the agency, and you meet Clayton because he is a computer. He does code. He writes code for.
He's like a computer whiz.
Yeah,
kid,
this Spartacus program that he created, which 3 other people. Which it's kind of a dick move that when he goes to sign up for the agency, we never hear about his friends again.
I'm
where
sure
they
made
just
$1
made
million.
how they not for anything, but they couldn't. They showed up for a trade function for Dell without the disc to show this guy how to operate it. They had to wait for Clayton to come in with the disc.
That is true.
To show them how to set it up. And then they're obviously trying to set up a meeting with this guy, and Clayton just disappears. And it's just like, okay, so now what? What are these kids got nothing?
I imagine that after that, he gives him the disc when he was going to join the farm. Or makes a copy of the disc. I mean, he has the program.
It was just kind of like an afterthought. Like, I'm doing this now. Like in the synopsis, it says that he graduates. There was no graduation. It was like the next day he was gone. Like Burke sees him at the trade show.
There's nothing that says he's a student.
No, I know that. Well, you're supposed to assume that he's in this giant house.
Freelance, software engineers like Silicon Valley, where they're just living together, making that code.
I think there's a lot of assumptions that we're supposed to make here.
Yeah, I don't think any of that matters, though.
But it should matter.
I don't think it does.
I think it. But see, 1 or 2, sure. But when there's a bunch of them, like the idea that they all go, they all go to the farm, and you meet Layla, and you meet Zach. And he actually befriends that other guy sitting down on the bus.
Yeah, the other guy totally gets...
and we don't see him anymore. We don't know anybody else.
Totally gets the ass.
Yeah. There's other trainers, and they do have dialogue, but you never talk to him. There's Agent Spender's in there from X-Files, who basically is there to tell them about the dissolvable communication device that you can put in that it'll just eat itself in 2 hours. And it's like, and the only reason he's there to do that because they use that device quite often in the movie. They just keep using it. But I'm just saying, there's no other ancillary characters that kind of help us with anything in this movie. It's just we are beholden to the 4 mains, and we have to determine what's going on between them.
I'm okay with that because it focuses your film on those characters. If you have too many characters, especially in a spy movie, it just becomes like, I don't want to play a whodunit necessarily. I kind of just want to know, you're watching this recruits rise through the ranks of like the CIA, how he starts, his training up until his first mission.
I want to do a quick overview of the synopsis of the movie, the whole movie, in terms of like what goes on towards the end. And we always do spoilers. I don't care if you've never seen the movie. So basically what ends up happening is Clayton washes out, which we'll get to. Burke tells him he's the Knock, which is the non-official cover, which is like, it's supposed to be some secret thing, but apparently everybody knows who the Knock is.
You're the spy who basically, if you get caught or killed,
if for those fans of Mission Impossible, the Knock list, that's what we're talking about here. So he basically don't know you're the Knock. You got to spy on Layla. She's working in maps and whatever in CIA and Langley.
Science and technology.
She's stealing stuff out of there, and you got to find out what it is and take it and steal it from her. But you find out that actually Layla is testing CIA's defense systems, and that's why she's doing that. And whatever. So and then Burke's plan is to my question to Burke's plan is basically to actually steal whatever the software is, which we'll get to, which is Ice 9.
Right.
Steal it.
And sell it. That's his plan. That's Burke's plan.
But was that Burke's plan? When did that plan go into effect? In the movie? When is that Burke's plan? Is he specifically targeting Clayton for the agency because that's his plan?
I think that becomes his plan. He's probably got a plan to do something where he can sell secrets, and then he can use Clayton to do whatever he wants. He just wants a patsy or someone else to do most of that work for him. And then once he figures out, hey, Layla's because I'm sure he's privy to most missions. Hey, she's stealing this information. He's like, great, that's exactly what I'm taking.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
but I
don't think it was a very specific plan. I think it's a general plan of having Clayton do some dirty work for him.
And because he was tired of not getting paid, and he makes that comment when he's talking to the people about how he's talking to the recruits that it's not for the money.
He mentions the money.
He mentions that
a lot. Yeah,
but
and then he also mentions, you don't know our failures. You only know you don't know our successes. You only know our failures.
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
Which everybody understands that.
But I think basically for Burke, it's just been too long.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember, this movie's 2003, so this is coming right off of September 11th. Not too many years.
Well, and he makes that comment. In the beginning of the movie where Clayton tells Burke that you're a bunch of fat old white guys who fell asleep when we needed them the most, and he's referring to 9/11. And then Burke returns that comment to him at the end of the movie, which. I understand that sentiment. I get that. I mean, I'm wondering if this movie was greenlit because of that, because of
that line.
Well, just
I like that sentiment
because of it's it's not negative on the CIA and the government. It's a little bit of a positive. I know that some of my notes in terms of actual CIA employees, so in 2009 I have this note down. A CIA employees review goes, although, quote, everyone in the agency believes the movie is ridiculous, end quote, the movie is, quote, entertaining, and that, quote, all of the covert service trainees watch the film on the bus going into training for comic relief.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not like it's because obviously they're trying to, I don't know what the research was into the movie. Well,
it's not like the CIA is giving them all their training.
It's called The Farm, but you don't know what exactly is going on in there.
Right.
And then I have from TJ Waters, who's a former farm student, calls it a mediocre movie in which he recognizes a lot of similarities with the real farm. What those similarities are, who knows? And we're not supposed to know. Yeah. Which is, I do believe though, when they set up Clayton for the ambush, when they take him, because my first note when he goes to have dinner with Burke, I'm just like, why is Burke taking him out to dinner? There's such this focus on one dude. Does he take anyone else out? And then you obviously realize he's setting him up because he says, there's always these guys around here that are trying to figure out what's going on at the farm. I actually do believe that they probably have spies or sleeper spies or informational people, staked out around the area trying to just, keep an eye on things or something pops up. And I absolutely believe that, and vice versa for us as well, on the other side of the spectrum. I have a lot more questions with this movie than that go unanswered.
Okay.
I guess in terms of motivations, I know Burke's motivation, and I know we can talk about it.
Right.
And we did.
Which his name is not Burke.
Yeah, I know. I know that. I understand that motivation, but I need more than just a couple lines when he's talking to the recruits about how they're not going to make any money. I need a scene. I need something to really understand why. Not his monologue at the end, which is the longest monologue I think in the history of, it's a monologue and an exposition dump all in one. At the end of the movie, when Pacino's just going on and on about what he's doing, I need that a little bit earlier, maybe not so dumpy in terms of exposition wise, but I need more, I think, for me to understand the whole concept of what Burke is doing and why he's doing it.
Well, Did you read? There was a deleted scene apparently where Burke essentially says that, you know, what it takes to be the perfect field operative. And basically you have to be a psychopath. You have to have antisocial personality.
Oh, he says a little bit of that in the
thing, but I guess he goes into it in the film. Like you have to have no pangs of conscience, no feeling of guilt or remorse. You know, you take action without regard to the consequence and have no sympathy or empathy afterward. At the same time, you have to be charming, engaging, and charismatic. So basically a psychopath, and you have to be like a
sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what he says in a deleted scene. And I think that kind of speaks to Burke pretty well. But, you know, you get that story, which is probably true about him in Italy back when he started, about, you know, was essentially a girl that he really liked or was falling in love with die by the hands of the Russians for the information. And, you know, he just did it because he had to do it. And he doesn't really show much remorse. But, you know, I think over time it's starting to get to him. But he is kind of a sociopath, which kind of that would hint at the turn that he makes a little earlier. So
do you view the Clayton character and the Layla Moore character and the Zach character as sociopath as well? Like everybody on that bus has that predilection to, you know, that kind of psyche?
I think that it's possible that James Clayton and Lila do, but I don't think Zach does.
Well, Zach's not fleshed out enough. What's that?
I think Zach's a good boy.
Yeah, and they don't give Zach anything. They give him these stares, these looks, he doesn't really do anything. And then all of a sudden he's the knock. And I want to be like, why would you know he's the knock? You should know that aren't you not supposed to know who the knock is? Like Layla, like, oh no, Zach's the knock. Zach's the knock.
Well, she knows he's the knock because she's the one he's the one she's supposed to be giving information to.
Which I don't understand. I don't understand, like, why is the knock being used, the non-official cover being used for an information dump? Like, why is he being trained? Okay, fine. But like for a simple handoff at the train station, you know, like why? Like she's doing an op just to study the CIA's defenses. Do we really need to use the knock for that?
Well, it's a good first mission for the knock because it's non-dangerous. It's easy. It's at home. You know, Clayton's op is probably too advanced for someone just coming off the farm.
Yeah.
But he's not really a knock. He really did wash out because Burke washes him out.
Yeah. And obviously it's bogus. He washes him out for his own personal reasons.
Right. Once he figures out like what he can use him for.
Right. But my thing is, like, everyone else buys that. Like I need a moment in the movie where he has to tell the other trainers that, you know, he just doesn't cut it. He's washing out, because the whole purpose of that,
I can see that. I agree with that.
You know, because the whole purpose of that mission to, like, you know, where he breaks them.
Right.
You know, is he washed out because they failed that test? Because that doesn't track, because Layla and Zach failed the test when they were trying to place bugs in that house and they didn't get washed out. So you need to give me like him saying like, no, I don't think he's got it. Like just something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, I don't think he's got it. Not the fact that he failed the test, because that test is designed for everyone to fail, to teach you a lesson.
Everybody fails. Everybody breaks. You made it the most in 15 years.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. He got Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon with the
I know
the electric sponge.
They didn't even show it either. Like, why not show it?
Oh man, they did. Like, I liked when he brushes the two Brillo pads together and you see the sparks.
Yeah, well, that's also like Rambo. They did that in Rambo 2. Well,
yeah, but that's just smoke coming out. This is the first one where you see like the Brillo pad melting.
Well, in Lethal Weapon, they're using the sponges, right?
Right. Yeah, it didn't have Brillo pads on the end.
Yeah,
but oof.
So
I do agree with you that there should be something that kind of explains more like why he gets washed out. Because I did have that same thought of none of the other recruiters think it's weird that he did such a good job and he's getting fired for doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
guy held out for days and gave a name that really isn't real because Burke's name isn't really Burke.
Yeah. Who is it? And even when at the end of the movie, when they go to, like, I guess, arrest Clayton, they're there for Clayton. They have no idea that Burke is doing this.
Well, I like that setup at the end.
No, I get that. Yeah. But they're just still in the dark completely.
Right. So yeah, you need a scene where you see maybe a little bit more of Burke tricking his compatriots.
Right.
Right.
Because I don't think that, here's the thing at the end of the movie. I don't think, they don't know what's going on. They're there to get Clayton.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to all focus their weapons on Burke solely. Like it's probably going to be like, everyone get down. We got to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. I was waiting for them at the end to arrest Clayton as well. Like, you've proved, it's like that James Bond, you've proved that he's guilty, not that the other guy's innocent when they capture Mathis and they're going to torture Mathis. And he's like, no, just keep sweating him.
Mhm.
You prove she's guilty, not he's innocent. It's the same thing with Clayton. It's like, you know, Burke's bad, but you don't know Clayton's not working for him.
Right.
And it's a deal going wrong or something.
One of the other things that to go along the lines of the opening shot that I didn't like was when Clayton, before the end scene, when he runs into the warehouse, when Clayton's in the car with Burke and he spills the coffee on him, and then we get that awesome line of dialogue. Oh man, my dick's on fire! Like we get that fantastic dialogue.
That's an ad lib from Pacino.
No kidding. And we get that, and then he leaves. He's got the gun on him.
Yep.
The gun goes off. He drops it. Clayton runs out. We get a shot of Pacino grabbing a flashlight from the backseat of the car. Why? I don't need to know. I don't need to have.
He grabs his gun.
No, he already gets the gun. There's a close up of his hand going to the gun. Then there's from behind the scenes, he goes in the back and reaches in the pocket of to get a flashlight. And I'm like, I really don't need to know where the flashlight comes from. I can just assume that he's got it on him.
Well, I think you're giving James more time to get further into the warehouse. Otherwise,
maybe.
He's going to be right on his tail.
I just don't need it. But that's again, that's another thing that kind of was like, do I need that? No, I don't. I love how when they kill Burke at the end, and they shoot him and they unload at least 400 rounds into him. They check his body for a pulse. I mean, you killed him. I mean, you guys didn't stop. It's like they're all around him and they still got the guns trained on him. And he's like leans in. It's like, dude, you can't tell he blew his chest off.
Oh, that's Walter fucking Burke. You don't know. So what did you like about this movie, if anything?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like, it's not that I hate it. I don't like not like it. But there's here's my question. Do you go into my picks assuming they're bad and just have a bad taste in your mouth? But no, because I already seen this movie. So I already knew that I didn't like it way before we did this. It wasn't a movie that I'm like, if someone's like, oh, did you see The Recruit? It's not like, oh, that movie's garbage. No, it's just like, it was okay. Like, that's what it was. It was one of those films. But if I'm diving deep into it, it's just the synopsis. Here's something. Not that I like, but I probably would want.
The synopsis is bad.
No, what I would want, maybe I want more of, or a little, like the synopsis talks about how they go to the farm. Like the farm is a big thing in the movie.
The movie was originally called The Farm.
Right.
They changed it.
But we're not on the farm. After all the action, it happens like after the farm. Like it becomes this taut CIA spy thriller that kind of like Spy Game. It becomes something like that. But like, I'd rather just focus on the farm, like put it within the confines of the farm. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want, like we talk about, there's only 4 characters. I want more characters. I want more stuff. I want to know more about the farm. Maybe the secret stuff, or maybe the thriller aspect or the mystery focuses more like within the farm. Like the farm is compromised, like that kind of stuff. Work within the, you know what I mean? I don't need to because now we change locations, and now I have to buy into the fact that somebody who washed out of the farm has now been given a job at Langley and is suddenly talking with all the people that he knew at the farm. Like that would be like a red flag for people that work there. The idea that, and then I gotta learn I don't even learn a lot about the farm. I just learn like what we know in terms of like the 2 things they do in terms of the tracking. They montage over their training in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I'd rather know all that. So the concept of the farm was interesting to me, but they didn't stay there long enough. I don't know. Did you like the farm?
Oh, I love the farm.
Okay.
I would love for the whole movie to be the farm. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that it's 2 movies in one. I like that it's half and half, but that does mean the actual.
You have to reset a little.
Yeah.
You have to reset a little bit in the middle of the movie because you've been given a whole new location.
You've been given like the sequel within the first movie.
Yeah.
No, I think that would have been a really good idea. Probably a better idea to do like Layla. Hey, Layla's a spy, Belarus or whatever.
Yeah.
Or somebody might be giving information out of here about the farm, and then these 6 different young people have to figure out who it is and become the spy.
Or like you can't trust your trainers. You can't trust like what's going on. Like you're friendly with Burke and like stuff like that. It's tough with spy thrillers because again, you always have to deal with like who's telling the truth, who's not. Oh, what's the double cross? Like
this sounds like Spy Harry Potter to me now. What? Something's happening in Hogwarts.
What's wrong with Harry Potter? How about the fact that Burke tells him there's no printers at Langley, so they have to they have to get out. They have to take the stuff out another way. They can't print it out. It's like there's no printers at Langley. He's carrying papers at one point, and I saw Clear and Present Danger, and he prints out that that memo and shoves it in Ritter's face. So what's going on there? So I just love the fact that there's no printers in Langley. Like I can understand where the network's locked down and it's firewall and you can't do anything, but no printers.
Yeah, but they're just making it difficult. They're just giving you a new. This is why he can't do this. They're
giving you the parameters of why. Yeah, I mean. He just walks in. I just saw a printer. Oh, that's not a printer.
Pay no attention to that. I like that they use a USB stick in 2003. That USB stick must cost a ton of money.
And it's probably like 1 gig.
It's 16 megabytes.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Jeez, you can't take everything out on pieces. Yeah. I like in that same, when he gets onto our computer, and like, I know he knows code. I get that. But I'm sitting there going, what is he doing? Like, what window did he open up? Like, what is he? He's just like hacking into like a system that he probably never knows. Like if you set him up as a hacker,
right? I
can believe that a little bit more. But you set him up as a software designer.
Well, he's a software designer.
He's a coder.
Hacker.
I get it,
but he hacks. Technically, you have to hack into all those other systems to be able to slave them to your video system. Yeah.
True. But I know that the note I have about like when he's typing it, it's just gibberish. All that stuff that like the computer code for Ice 9 is just gibberish. And I guess the ability of Ice 9 in the movie is that it can take any
electrical outlet,
and they can basically control any, they can get into any computer, they can get into any infrastructure, any computer like device and stuff like that.
They can shut it down. They can shut down power grids and stuff,
which is not possible. That ability does not exist. Yeah, you can't do it. There is obviously the possibility you can boost your Wi-Fi signal with your electrical outlets,
right?
But it's really just limited to like a certain location. Like I could do it in my house, but that's it. It's not going to help anybody else.
Well, I guess the CIA did it to a nuclear test site in Iran.
Well, that was what and
kind of changed the temperature gauges.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's how they. Yeah. Well, that's I don't know if they said they did that, but that's the rumor. Yeah. I mean, let's not break a national news.
Sorry,
here.
It's allegedly.
I mean, we have no information on it.
I like the scene in the bar where Colin Farrell goes to pick up a girl.
Yeah.
And he tells her, I just got out of prison.
Yes.
I guess he suggested that to the director because he actually used that line in a bar once and it worked to pick up a girl.
Do you think the workers at the Blue Ridge bar are tired of the CIA trainees always coming in every session?
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. They must be used to
like
it.
The bar backs back there going, here we go again.
$10 is going to be this kind of blue shirt making it. Yeah.
I mean,
they're absolutely placing bets.
Yeah.
I should just go tell her that it's no. The last guy who did that didn't come back.
I wonder if the CIA pays them. Like, well, listen, we're going to be here again tonight. So here's a couple grand. How about the way Colin Farrell moves in this movie? Like he moves fast. Like grab the computer, go like. Do you like that? Like aesthetically, it's great because he's boom, boom, let's go, get a gun. But like when you think about it, I'm like, would you really be moving that fast? Like, could you really type that fast?
I don't know. I don't code, but no, my dad codes and he does not go that fast.
He doesn't grab computers, put them down. He's just ripping them up.
He doesn't go, I need to enter this website. Hold on.
Yeah.
Never use the mouse once. Gotta go.
Yeah. I know. It's like Scotty from Star Trek 4 when he's cracking his knuckle. Dude.
Keyboard. How quick. But that's typical, movie stuff with the computer.
It's also, I think that's Colin Farrell's. I think that's his style because I've seen a couple movies with him where he's always quick paced and fast and
he moves quick.
Yeah.
I notice he does a lot of like this head thing where he kind of looks around is kind of his thing. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of like always aware.
Like in Minority Report when he's breaking down the keyboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of his thing. And then when he played was it Bullseye in the Daredevil film? It's just a quicker, more cracked up version. I think that's
his style. Yeah, I agree. His breakfast is lazy, by the way. I love how he pumped up his breakfast to Layla.
Breakfast is champions.
After they were together.
It's toast, 2 slices of bacon, and some eggs and cheese.
Yeah, he's like, cheese eggs, my dad's specialty. It's like, he puts cheese and eggs. I do that. It's not a specialty, pal. Okay, unless the cheese is from some unknown place I've never heard of.
12 different cheeses. Half of them are from Peru.
And number two. Those eggs did not have cheese in them. I could tell. And it's like your bacon's terrible. It's you just took toast and cut it in half. It's like stop making his breakfast out to be anything. You just made eggs. Okay, you made eggs. You're acting like you made her like this like Western omelet. Sorry, your dad's dead, but still.
Poor dad. Poor meaningless dad.
Speaking of his father, I couldn't care less about the final shot of the movie when it was like the 1990 in the Starlight. That was his dad. He was a spy.
You already showed that. We get it.
Who cares? Who cares? It's like some great mystery. Like, oh, he's vindicated. His father was really a CIA agent. He's dead. It just, I did not care about that. I mean,
I like the line, "It's in your blood again," and he just repeats it.
That's a nice line.
Yeah, I don't need the fadeaway.
Yeah.
Because you already have that scene. So you can already, unless you're some kind of moron, harken back to 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When he looked at the star the first time.
Yeah.
It already happened. But yeah, I didn't like that. Although I did think that like Extreme Ways by Moby was going to play when he said "It's in your blood, son." I was like, that's such a Jason Bourne ending when he's got that shocked face.
One of my notes here is, wait, is John Dillinger's penis really at the Smithsonian? And I didn't look it up. I should have. I didn't. And I was just like, why?
I've been to the Smithsonian once. I don't remember seeing any penis.
Hey everyone, that's Fonzie's jacket. Yeah. That's from the set of Lucille Ball Show. And look, John Dillinger's penis. Oh, wait, what? Really? It's when we talked about Zach before, when he goes and tracks Layla when she drops off the note to the hooded man.
Right.
It's like, yeah, obviously it's Zach because we've met nobody else. And my question to you is, why chase him? Like, why?
I didn't get that. It's bad spy. That's bad spying. And he goes, "Freeze. You're not a cop, dude.
Yeah.
You're a civilian as far as anybody knows.
Yeah.
Freeze. What are you? Who are you?"
Yeah.
The other thing that pissed me off is when I know it's like a last ditch effort not to get shot, but Burke tells James, "It was blanks. It was blanks. You didn't really shoot him. The squibs went off." It's like, I'm sorry, Clayton shot like 8 rounds into the subway cars with sparks flying and everything.
Yeah.
He had bullets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He had bullets.
Yeah. So, well, let me, because you, did your opinion of this film change from when you first watched it to now?
No.
Okay.
I knew it was okay.
Yeah. But why, I'm not that I want to jump ahead. I mean, but why would, well, I guess I will. Well, why would you, well, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Why did I pick it?
Well, not why did you pick it? I was going to say, why are you saying it's forgotten? But yeah, go ahead and finish your thought. Sorry.
But when I watched this the first time, I liked it, but I also thought it was just okay. It wasn't the greatest thing I'd ever seen. But now that it's, almost 20 years later, I've seen so many more spy films.
But better than this or worse than this?
Both.
Okay.
And so I wanted to I remembered it being an enjoyable film. I mean, I remember Pacino being good and Colin Farrell being good. And that it was interesting because it was a spy being recruited, like training.
Mm-hmm.
But I did remember that it was two different movies. It was the same complaint you had.
Right.
I don't think it bothered me as much, but I do think that brings the movie way down. It's the first movie and its sequel squished together. It's almost like if this were a book series and they were like, well, books 1 and 2 can be made into one movie for no reason.
Right.
But I thought maybe my opinion would have changed. Maybe I wouldn't like it as much, but I do remember it being a very unique spy film in the terms of like a lot of that focuses on the training. But I do think that the entire focus should have been on the training like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think my opinion changed much. It's just I can point out exactly what made my reaction to this original viewing like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think there are other spy movies that have done it better. I think Spy Game is a little better. You maybe don't get as much of that training, but you get a decent amount of it, and it's a little different.
Yeah, well, our complaint was
handled a little better.
Our thing about Spy Game was that the Pitt's romance was off screen.
Yeah, that is a lot. Cut weird. I think this has focus of this is the training and then this is the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think cutting that up would have helped at all either. That would have hurt it more.
You got to choose one or the other.
Yeah,
I agree. I think also when you have Layla and James kind of not rekindle, but kind of have the romantic entanglement, because obviously in the farm they like each other, I guess you assume. And then when they have the romantic entanglement in terms of like when they're kissing in the
a parking garage.
Yeah, that whole thing. It's like, I don't for 1 second believe that she, like, I know that he's playing her, and I don't believe that she's like, I know she's playing him. So I don't believe the characters' emotions or feelings towards each other. I think they're just faking it, obviously.
I don't buy that. I don't buy her emotion ever. I do buy his emotion, although it's quick and rather just like love at first sight kind of a thing. I think the way he portrays it, like the way he shows, even like not through dialogue, but just the way his facial expressions, the way he acts is true. Like he has feelings for
You're
her.
also focused on him. He's the main character in the story.
Get more time. Maybe that's the problem.
She doesn't have. She's not given anything.
Because you can't really see her side of it, or you'll know that she's also on a mission.
Right.
But I do think his feelings are real, even though they're rather quick.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get that, that sense that, he's playing her, she's playing him.
Right.
You don't get that they're going to end up together in the end kind of a thing.
Right.
I actually would have liked the movie better if they both quit the CIA.
Well, you don't get.
You're going to ruin your sequel chances.
I love the ending.
He gets whisked away without her.
You knew that, but you also knew that he was going to be brought back into the fold. And I'm just like, well, thank God I killed Zach, because there's a
there's an opening now. Damn, you beat Zach. I mean, it's not ancient Rome, but it's kind of ancient Rome.
You built the guy. You killed the guy that we handpicked to be the knock. Thanks. It's like, I don't even know if they would bring. Oh, they probably would bring him in. Who knows?
He knows too much already. He did the job. He technically completed his mission real well.
He did the job, but he got fooled. Like he got, you know what I mean? He got.
Well, so did the rest of the CIA, though.
True, I guess. Yeah. This isn't based on anything, right? This isn't based on any books. I mean, I couldn't. It was just
not that I've seen. Yeah. No, it just seems like a lot of spy movies that you've seen before.
Yeah,
I think another reason it might have been forgotten, not just because of the way the story's broken up. So, Bourne Identity comes out in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Bourne Supremacy comes out in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares about The Recruit when you have Bourne Identity and Bourne Supremacy?
And I always like the Supremacy is the second one.
Supremacy is the second.
I always like the second one better. I like the first one, but I love Greengrass's direction in the second one a lot better. I like Greengrass, so that's the director, Paul Greengrass. But yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it did money. It did its money back and more.
Oh yeah, I mean, like we said, Colin Farrell and Al Pacino. Colin Farrell's hot at this point. He's doing a bunch of movies. Al Pacino is still Al Pacino.
Do you think that Al Pacino in this movie is kind of going through the motions?
No, I've seen Al Pacino go through the motions.
Like
this
what?
Jack and Jill.
No, first of all,
he's fantastic in Jack and Jill.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying Jack and Jill's a good movie. But Pacino and Jack and Jill is funny. Come on. It's funny.
But no, I can't point out anything. I'd have to look at his IMDb, but I'm anything in the 2000s is there's a lot in the 2000s where he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think he's given like his best performance ever. This isn't Godfather or Serpico.
Yeah, obviously it's.
I think this is a solid performance. I think it's understated. I think in the things where
you think it's understated
compared to some of the things. This is Al Pacino we're talking about here. He'll take a regular role and turn it up to 1,000.
You want understated? You have to go see the HBO film where he played Joe Paterno. That's understated. This is. I'll tell you what. This is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's still Pacino.
Yeah.
He's not playing a character. He's definitely still playing Pacino.
Yeah.
But he's not yelling through it. He's not joking. He's not like overly like, I'm gonna turn my. This is what you wanted.
I got you.
You ordered Pacino. You got Pacino.
You got it.
I don't think he's necessarily giving it like. He's not looking for his Oscar, but I think he's playing the role well.
Nobody's looking for their Oscar in this film.
I think he's doing all right.
Yeah. This is I don't know if this is well, I think it's evident that the studio probably was just like, I don't know what to do with this film because it came out in January.
Right.
I think if this movie was, if they viewed this film better, or they viewed this film as being the potential of making more money, if they liked it, I think this would have been a summer film. But I think putting it in January, I think Buena Vista was just like, let's put it here. I mean,
this could have worked as a December film.
Well, this movie was shot December 2001 to March 2002. So this movie was shot, basically a full year before they released it.
Right.
So, I don't have any notes in terms of like if they moved it up or anything like that. But my last note is that the abandoned warehouse at the end of the movie, where they end the movie, is the same location where they shot Chicago's prison scenes. So the movie Chicago and their prison scenes were filmed there. So if everyone's, looking
and
for
all that jazz.
I got nothing else about this movie. I mean, That's all I got. Where can they find us?
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or ForgottenEntertainment.com, as we are part of the Forgotten Entertainment family. You can also find us on all the various podcast things that I mentioned before. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. We're everywhere. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us, leave us a comment. Join the lobby, which is our Facebook group where we talk about movies. Let me know how much you also hated The Recruit.
Whoa.
And we talk about movies and stuff like that. Give us suggestions, all that good stuff. And that's all I got.
Sweet. All right. We'll see you next week. We're going to 1990 for a movie written and directed by Alan Alda, Betsy's Wedding. So, we will see you then. I've got nothing right now, so I will wrap up with saying I am Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema.
I'm gonna make you a spy.